In this segment of ALEKS College Algebra, we will be looking at solving a word problem using an exponential equation, type 1. And what this appears to be is a compound interest problem. And these come up often enough that we can rely on a specialized equation or formula, basically, to deal with these. And so let's take a look at our notes. Now, in the compound interest formula, basically you just have to set it up by plugging numbers into this formula and solving for whatever you want. There are several inputs to the formula, and these letters are quite a few of them and a little bit complicated, so let's review everything. A, that is the amount of money that you will have in your account at time t. Okay, of course, t is going to be some time in years into the future, and that's always in years. Now, P, that is your beginning balance or principal. That is the amount of money that's in your account at time equals 0. Okay, R is the interest rate, but expressed as a decimal. N is the number of times during a year that the compounding occurs. Now, if interest is compounded annually, then that's going to be 1. If that's going to be semi-annually, 2, quarterly, 4, monthly, 12, daily, 365, and so on. So that's the basic formula that works for many, many compound interest situations. Let's go back now and see what we have in this particular case. An amount of $22,000 is borrowed, so that's going to be our principal amount, for 9 years. That's our time, at an interest rate of 4.25%, which we would have to express as a decimal, 0.0425, and we are compounding annually here, so n is 1. So what we're going to need to do is to take all of these inputs, plug them in to the formula, and then see what happens after that. And so let's go ahead and plug in our values here that we got a second ago. And notice here our amount here is unknown. Principal's 22,000. Plugged in our rates, plugged in our n, plugged in our time. Simplify a little bit. And suddenly we notice here that this really isn't an algebra problem. All we're really going to need to do is to evaluate this expression. And if we can do that, we'll have the amount that they're asking us for. So this basically is a calculator problem that doesn't involve a lot of algebra. Now soon what will happen in problems, most likely in the next type, is they'll likely give us this amount here and make us solve for the time or something over here. But for now at least, this appears to be simply a calculator evaluation problem. So let's get our TI-30 XS here and just evaluate this problem directly. So we're going to have our principal of 22,000. We're going to multiply that times our 1.0425. And of course notice that this must be raised to the power of 9. And so we see here that we're going to need to pay back 31,000, and of course let's see how they want this rounded, but most likely to the nearest cent. So we're going to round this to the nearest dollar. So what we'll do here is notice back here on our calculator that we're going to have a 6 here with an 8, so 31,997. Let's put that into ALEKS. So $31,997, and let's check it. And we are good to go.